Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, welcome back. I'm doing a really quick video. This is going to be super speed because we have a new coach. Yes, we do, and it's not David Quinn. And for all of those of you who have asked, I don't like David Quinn because I didn't like the way his last stint went with the Rangers. That's just me, personal preference, all that good stuff. Jim Montgomery is the new head coach of the Boston Bruins. It was a name that initially, when they started the interviews, he didn't come up a lot, slowly gained momentum. Then everyone said it was Quinn, and then 24 hours later, everyone said it was Montgomery. Turns out Jimbo is our choice. Not bad. Here's the thing with Jimmy, with Jimbo, with Jim Bob. He has had success at basically every level of professional or semi-professional hockey. The USHL, he led a expansion team to the championship in its first year, which is very impressive. He would later go on to take over the Denver college team. They would see a national championship underneath him, as well as a Frozen Four appearance, amongst some other deep-ish runs, which were great. And then he goes to the Stars. And this is what a lot of you are going to know him for, is he was with the Stars for a year and a half. Their first year, they made the playoffs, which was great. Their first year made the playoffs in like 4 years at the time or something along those lines. And almost halfway through the next season, he gets fired, boom, suddenly. There was never an official report of exactly what happened, but it was conduct detrimental to the team, or however they worded it. They basically said, hey, you did something so bad at a holiday party that you're out of here. Now, later on, he himself would admit that he had put himself into a rehab facility for alcohol abuse. It's pretty safe to say there was some sort of an addiction problem there. And the road back has been tough. But he was already so successful as a coach that, I don't know if tough is the right way to say it. Humbling, probably. He has makes this massive mistake and becomes eligible to come back. Ends up going on with the Blues as an assistant coach and is credited with running their power play, which was second in the league last year. He's well liked by the players by all accounts, and he tends to be pretty good at getting the most out of younger guys, or so they say. Offensively, we should see a bump under him if it's going to come from the young guys. Now, when he took over the Stars initially, the team was not a juggernaut offensively, and people were very quickly to go, well, honestly, the team wasn't that good. He just got the most out of them. There's always an argument to be had over, well, was that it, or is he not very adept offensively? But he seems to have a good track record at his team scoring above what you'd expect. So we're hoping that that's the effect he has on the Bruins. But defensively, he's very good. He has a style that smothers other teams. It relies on speed and decision-making, but it's very responsible hockey. His goaltenders tend to do pretty decently, or at least they look like they're being pretty well protected, so I hope that reflects well. Overall, I think this is one of the better hires that was available, if not the best hire that was available. Does this make up for firing Cassidy? I don't think so. I still think Cassidy was the better coach, but more and more, it feels like there really was let's say the message got stale. The players were ready for a change. And if the players are ready for a change, the front office has to be ready for a change. Because things get worse when players kind of start tuning out the coach. There might be an excuse built in there for Sweeney. I know we're all kind of like, Sweeney didn't have the best year. But this Montgomery hire, I'm genuinely interested in. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of people who are very quickly throwing out, I hope he can stay off the wagon. Or on the wagon. I forget how that phrase works. And although it might be a little rude to immediately jump there, it's not incorrect. And the reason I say that is for anybody who's dealt with addiction. And I think those who have never dealt with addiction, I think some of them can understand, but a lot of times it doesn't quite make sense unless you've been through it. Addiction is something that never ends, unfortunately. Once you are addicted to something, a relapse is very, very, very easy to do. We're going to talk a little bit about it on the podcast that we're likely to record tonight. I know we're jumping on for the short shift, but it's very easy to relapse into whatever the thing is that you were abusing. It's extremely, extremely easy, especially in a world like the NHL where there's plenty of substances going around. So when I say it's fair to say I hope he can stay off of that kind of stuff, it doesn't come from a place of like, oh, look out for this guy. It is genuinely, it's going to be a battle for him. And it will be for the rest of his life. It's something that's always in the back of your mind. And your body convinces you, your brain convinces the wrong word. It barters with you. It tells you, just one. It tells you that. And you go, absolutely not. And it keeps, the more it's around you especially, it just keeps kind of being like, come on, one. And then the next 3 months, we won't touch this stuff. It literally, your brain barters with you, tries to convince you, it's not that big of a deal. So I understand the genuine fear, I guess, but it should come from a place of caring, of, hey, head coach duties, a lot of pressure on him. Always going to be, that position's always going to have a lot of pressure on you. Let's hope that he can stay healthy through it all. I think that's a fair statement. I don't think it's the first thing that should get brought up, but I understand it at least. I am excited about this hire. I want to welcome him with open arms to the Boston Bruins. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do with the young guys. I'm glad we hired him early enough that he can get started with these guys right away. He already knows a few of them. And not only that, but he's known to take trips to see his players before the season, during the off season. He's very personable with them. So this is a player's coach. And I know, again, this video is not going to have a ton of inside information on him. If you go to Wikipedia, you can see half this stuff. I've read a bunch of articles about him. But genuinely, responsible defensively, players seem to really like him, gets the most out of young guys. Unsure about the offense, but the special teams has seemed pretty good. That's where I stand with that. That's my overall. I feel good about that kind of hire. I really do. Let's see what he's got. Let's welcome him to the Boston Bruins. And guys, don't make this about Cassidy, right? We have to move on. Let's see what he can do. Go Bees!